All that paperwork from the FAA. I'll tell you about it right after the intro. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I'm Maximus, and these are my exposures. So, all that mail from the FAA? Well, it's all about my medical. I got into a car accident about 2 years ago and suffered a TBI. So they need to make sure that I'm A-okay to fly. It's been quite a long process. It's been about a year since I actually applied for my medical. I've had to go to numerous doctor's appointments because they need more information. They would just want to make sure my brain is good. Right after my TBI, I was seeing a doctor. To help me get back to where I was pre-accident. So I did that, sent them the paperwork for that doctor. They came back, said they needed more information. So from there, I scheduled a physical with a neurological focus with a neurologist. Did that. That neurologist said I was okay, sent her results off to the FAA. They looked at them, came back, said they need a little bit more information, but this time they gave me some direction. They wanted to get a neuropsychological battery of testing done. Now, basically, it's what it boils down to is it's a whole bunch of tests to see how your brain functions with cognitively and memory and speed and multitasking and putting different things together just like you would as if you're flying an airplane, and that's good. The only downside is that test, depending on what doctor you go to and probably where you live, can run you anywhere from $2,000 to about $3,000. The other downside of that is those doctors that work specifically with the FAA, I found out, are very hard to find. I went to my primary care doctor and tried to get one through there, but those doctors don't necessarily do all of the testing. So it's like, okay, you go to this doctor to get these tests done, and then you have to go to another doctor to get all these tests done. And I didn't really want to do all that. But I actually completely forgot about a great resource, which is your AME. So I called up my AME, and within 20 minutes of talking to him, I had a list of doctors in my area that worked, specifically with the FAA and did this type of testing. So the only thing after that was, call around to a couple doctors, see when they could get me in, how much it costs. And once I made that, I scheduled an appointment. Now, my appointment was scheduled about 6 weeks out, but good old COVID-19 just happened to come along. So that pushed it out even further, and then pushed it out even further again, where we rescheduled. But finally, I have a set date that my doctor is going to be back in office. The city is reopening, so I can go ahead and take my test, and it's going to be a great time. I'm a little bit nervous about it though. I don't know exactly what's on the test. I haven't been able to find things on YouTube. I kind of want to study for it, but I feel pretty confident. It's been 2 years after my brain injury, so I feel really good about it. I've been doing things to make sure that I feel confident. I've been doing a lot of memory things, playing Sudoku, memory games, stuff like that. Plus, I've already been flying in the last year. I just haven't flown solo yet. My CFI, they're very confident that I'll pass the test. They don't see anything wrong with me, but they're not a trained medical professional. So I just have to go take the test, see what happens. Now, I guess we can get a little bit into what actually happened. So I was in traffic, got rear-ended, and the accident did not seem as bad as it was just based on getting out, looking at the car. Didn't seem as bad as it was. But the next day I started showing symptoms of post-concussive syndrome. So that happened the next day, and things really were not good. For a period of time, like, I couldn't remember conversations I had 5 minutes ago. So it was pretty bad for about 3 weeks. My memory, just body weakness, sensitivity to light, things like that. So I actually had a couple people helping me and taking care of me for those few weeks. Like I said, I saw a specialist after probably about 3 weeks, kind of just to help me get back on track. But after I was done seeing the specialist for about a month, then it just became, take care of yourself, drink enough water, and with a brain injury, they told me that you don't want to get back to doing too much too soon, because it could actually hurt the brain. It's not like you pull a hamstring and you do some physical therapy for a couple of weeks, but you can get back to it, and the harder you work it, the better it's going to get. You kind of have to let your brain reset for a while before you start putting too much stress on it. So that's what I did. Like I said, it's been about 2 years since that actually happened. I started flying last year, so that gave me a whole year to recover and recuperate. And then just this last year has kind of just been making sure that I'm good, and that my brain is good, and that I'm actually in a position to apply for a medical and handle all the stresses of flying, which I've been handling great. So now we just we go take the test, and then we see what happens from there. I'm feeling pretty confident about it. Not too nervous. I'm a little nervous just because I haven't been able to really find anything on the test, or practice for it, I guess is really what I would like to do. But the things that I can do, I have been doing. So yeah, if you guys have questions about anything that happened in my accident, feel free to ask. I'll tell you as much as I can, really. And if you have any questions about how I came back, how I'm feeling, because I know there are people out there with with different injuries and things like that. Some might not have been as severe as mine, but if you had the same type of injury that I had, then maybe I could help you out in some way, trying to navigate this whole medical thing. So if you like this video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, so when the next video is ready for departure, you can come fly with me. Later, Gators.